So I actually filled the chair up this time with new beans.
Does the chair still suck?
I mean, it's alright. Hello and welcome to another special episode of Japan at War. Now, this is easily one of the most obscure tools / weapons out there. And what tool am I talking about? Well, this. Now, this actually did receive some love in the game Ghost of Tsushima, though it was actually used more in a fantasy kind of way. And there's actually several different ways that this can actually be used, and several different martial arts attached to it. By itself, it's just referred to as a kage. If it's on a rope, kaginawa, or, hook rope. But the one I want to show you is actually referred to as the Kusari Kage, or hook on a chain. And there's actually very little depictions of it in this configuration. And the only English source I've actually been able to find that refers to this weapon is Stephen Turnbull's Fighting Ships of the Far East, Book 2. So, what kind of uses did this have? Well, crazy enough, this was actually both used on land and at sea. Now, on land, it was used to grab a hold of defensive structures and pull them down so that the men could advance. And at sea, the goal was to throw these onto the decks of enemy ships and then pull them in close so that they could then be boarded. They could also be used to hook onto the armor of the enemy and then drag them off the ship, and then they would drown under the weight of their own armor. It was a pretty crazy weapon. The Kusari Kage has two ways that it can actually be mounted. One is on a chain, and then that chain is attached to a rope. And the other way is to have the chain attached to a wooden pole, which is exactly what I've done. The hook itself is around 6.5, 7 pounds, and is handmade using iron, just like the originals. Now, the chain that I'm actually going to be using is an antique handmade piece that's 8 pounds. So it's actually pretty heavy altogether. And I thought it'd be a fun idea to do a test with it, just like I did in the Jingasa video, which you guys apparently liked. So the test that I've come up with will be to test its capabilities to take down improvised defensive structures. I also want to see exactly what it can do to flesh, and just how far we can throw this on the chain. Let's take a look. All the way that deep. Like that, right? Oh shit. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh man. It ripped open that entire side, I think. I mean, that's not going to kill you, but you are not going to have a good day after that. Here, get in really close for that. Jesus. Wow. Holy shit. Come on, keep filming. Wait, keep filming. So there's a reason why you use forged iron and steel, ladies and gentlemen. The wood didn't last, but also the modern connector did not last. Everything else lasted. Damn, that's incredible. First off, I just have to say, I had a lot of fun doing that. It was incredibly fun, but it was also kind of shocking. Now, kind of like with the Jingasa video, I didn't have high expectations. Actually, I didn't think that this was actually going to do as much damage it did to that side of meat. It did a lot of damage, and like, I've unhooked it, as you can tell. When I did use it, the thing that jumped out to me the most is that the shape of each and every one of these hooks has a very squarish shape, and that just really opened up the wound, and that was incredible. Also, you'll notice in the video when I did actually use it on the side of meat, it actually kind of stuck in there. So I can see if like you were boarding a ship or whatever and you used this and you got into somebody, you really could drag them. And as you saw from one of the other videos, I actually did stick it in the meat and then I pulled the actual side of beef until the actual flesh kind of like ripped down. It wasn't a deep wound or anything, but I mean, you have blood loss, things like that, be absolutely terrible. And another thing that actually crossed my mind is that this is kept in well condition. Mine is. The one that might be on a ship or might be used on a battlefield probably won't be. Because this is just iron. This is not lacquered. There's no coating or anything. It's just iron. So especially if it was on a ship, it's exposed to that salty sea air and all that moisture, it's going to rust. So think about those wounds, and even if you do survive, now you have to worry about tetanus, things like that. Incredibly nasty. But also, going in that deep, now, you know what they say, you typically only need about 3 inches of penetration. But that definitely fits the bill right there. And I'm not saying that this would be something that you could easily kill someone with, but that you could. And that was not something I expected that this would be able to accomplish. And when it came to the improvised structure, I mean, as you can see, I did go with something that was non-traditional. Usually, improvised structure would have used ropes and surrounding wood and things like that. Honestly, it's been raining here for the past, what seems like a week, and none of the wood was good. And the ropes and everything, I don't know yet how to do the same type of traditional lashings to be able to do that authentically. So what I used was wood, got from the store. There was screws throughout the entire thing. And I thought if it was to break, it would actually break where the screws were. And when I inspected the wood, it actually didn't break there. And the most interesting thing was that when it went over, it grabbed onto the board, pulled it off. Well, it didn't pull it off. It just grabbed it onto it, and the chain is what actually split the wood. But these prongs, and this would be very important when it came to boarding ships, bite into the wood in a way that I just did not expect. When I say it bites into wood, I mean it actually bites into it, and it actually becomes a little bit hard to dislodge it. It's not just the simple force of the hooks, it's actually that these prongs get into it. And that was incredible. So, I mean, in short, this definitely exceeded my expectations. I definitely want to hear what your guys' opinion on this was. And if you liked this video and you liked my tests, real quick, I would just like to say, because I know I've gotten a good number of subscribers in the past week or so, and I would just like to say hello. I'm glad that you guys have decided to give my channel a chance. I appreciate it very much. Everybody who's been commenting lately, thank you a lot. It really helps the channel out, especially when we hit that 1K, which should be any day now. But yes, thank you very much. Definitely give me your thoughts. Like, I am recording it all down. Obviously, I can't get to everybody's thoughts or ideas on a special video immediately, but I definitely do write it down. I do register it. I try to see how to make it possible. Like, this was honestly like 4 months in the making, if not more. It took a lot of time and research. I had to find a blacksmith that would not only do this historically accurate, but also like not kill me in price. I mean, channel's expensive to do, kind of on a budget, but anyway. Thank you very much. And of course, I'll see you next time.